When I wrote Bronx Tale, the screenplay, I knew it had to start out with the murder because, first of all, I'm the kid, I did see the murder. And I knew that Sonny had to die because he did die. And I knew I had to witness it. That I knew. Hi, this is Chazz Palminteri. Welcome to the Chazz Palminteri Show. On YouTube, we are also on Spotify, on Apple, on Google. And we're closing in on 100,000 subscribers, which is exciting, right, John?
That's right. We're really
pretty
close.
exciting. We're closing in on that. We're very happy about that. Don't forget, if you want to come and see me live, go to chazzpalminteri.net. I will be starting the national tour again in August. John, where am I?
So you're going to start again in 2 weeks in July.
In July I'm starting.
You're starting on the 18th in Medford, Massachusetts at the Chevalier Theater. Then the 20th, you're doing Nashua, New Hampshire at Nashua Center for the Arts. And then in August, you have the 17th in Riverhead, New York at the Suffolk Theater. And then August 19th, you're in Ocean City, New Jersey at the Ocean City Music Pier.
That's July and August. What if it's not a good date? Look at the schedule because I am booked all year and check it out. I'll be doing a lot of dates this year, finishing the national tour of the original one-man show. Don't forget my restaurants. You want a date? I got 2 incredible Italian restaurants. It's got to be great, folks, because my name is on it. Chazz Palminteri Italian Restaurant, 30 West 46th Street. Great place to get engaged. Romantic, wonderful waiters, white glove. It's spectacular. And plus, if I'm there, I'll come and say hello to the table. And also, my other restaurant, 264 Main Street. And don't forget at my restaurants, and this is up and up, all you have to do is I watch the Chazz Palminteri Show on whatever, and they will give you a free, made-from-scratch, handmade dessert. Okay? If you got 8 people in the party, you get 8 fantastic desserts. It doesn't matter. Okay? So, please, mention that you see the podcast, get a free dessert. If you want to speak to me in person, just go on chazzpalminteri.net, follow the directions, see the schedule, and set up an appointment. Don't forget my wine, the Cabernet wine, sold at all Stu Leonard's and at your local wine store. Just ask for the Chazz Cabernet. And we have other things, but we'll talk about it later in the episode. So, John, this is the Q&A episode where people send in questions and they expect me to know the answers, which I know sometimes, but not all the time. So what's up?
Okay, we got a lot of questions today. The one I'm seeing more often than not, it's kind of funny. It says, and there's probably 5 or 6 different people that said this already. What's your experience like working on Call of Duty with doing the voice of Sal?
With Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. I mean, you'd be surprised how many young people come on. He said, "Oh man, I saw you on Call of Duty," and they think that's what I did. But I remember that. That was me, Michael Madsen, Joe Pantoliano, and Ray Liotta. God rest his soul. And we were the 4 voices on Call of Duty, and I remember that. And it was exciting because I never did anything like that, and they put all these marks on us, and we were behind this green screen, and wow, it was pretty exciting.
So did they do like the motion capture too?
Yeah.
It wasn't just the voice?
Oh yeah, you see my face and the way they had us moving, and it was really strange. You know me, I'm always the businessman. I said, look, I told all the guys, why don't we hold off? Because they were paying us a lot of money, or each for one day. We all got the same amount. And it was a lot. So for 4 hours work, I mean, 6 figures. So I said, let's say, here's what I want to do, because my son said, "Dad, this is huge." And I was like, "Yeah, really? People buy this?" They go, "Oh, Dad, you have no idea." I remember at the time. So I told our agents, we all went back, all our agents got together and they said, look, they don't want to get paid. They'll do it for free. But they want 1% of the gross. 1%. 1% for all four of them. And they laughed and they said, thank you very much, but we'll get four other people. So obviously we said, never mind. And we did it for what they wanted to pay us, which was fine. But I found out that I think in the first week, the game grossed worldwide 90 million.
It did 1 billion in 15 days.
It did 1 billion in 15 days. Jesus. What's 1% of 1 billion? I don't even know.
What is that, 10 mil or 100 mil? Which one is it?
1% of 1 billion would have to be 100 million. No? Yeah. What a score that would have been, huh?
Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. 10 million.
It would have been $10 million?
10 million, yep.
Wow, shit. It was four of us? What a score that was.
But that was just from the first week.
And that was the first week.
In total, it did over 3 billion. So you would have had, what, 30 mil?
Oh my God. Yeah, they laughed at us when we told them 1%. They were like, get the fuck out of here.
But I remember that too, because it wasn't just the game that you were in. You were in a part of the game that you had to buy on top of the game. So
yeah.
You were like top tier for that game.
Yeah, I mean, they still talk about that. I know people who still see me on that, and they go, hey, Chazz, I saw you on Call of Duty. And that's always exciting, you know, when people say that. So that was fun.
With like the motion capture and stuff, was that your first time doing motion capture?
I think so.
Have you ever done it since, or you only did it that
I only
once?
did it one time. I mean, I've done other animation movies.
But did they put like the dots on your face?
No,
and
that
stuff
was the
like
only
that?
one where they put the dots on us and then they mimicked our faces. It was weird, man.
Like, what did they have you do? How does that work?
Remember, we had to put these dots like and then we got behind in front of a green screen, and they just wanted to see our faces move and how we acted, and they just took that and they zeroed into the film. If you see it,
Did they make you interact with the other people, or were you there alone?
I was by myself.
So that must have been so weird talking to yourself.
Well, the other people were giving doing the other voices.
Oh, they were feeding it to you. Okay.
They were feeding me the other voices in my ears. You know, I mean, it was weird, but I love that again. You know, it's good money.
All right, so moving on to the next one. Who is your favorite director that you've worked with other than De Niro?
Other than Robert De Niro, I would have to probably say Woody Allen.
What made him different?
Oh, totally opposite directors, but totally both brilliant. De Niro's more hands-on, talk to you. He'll adjust your performance. He'll say certain things. If he wants more out of you, it's less. Wants you to speed up, wants you to slow down, wants you to improvise. Much more hands-on. Where Woody is just, just do it. Woody doesn't talk to you. He believes in, he just casts the right person and let him do it. Just get out of the way, let him do it. In fact, if Woody, the way it goes is Woody starts talking to you, that's not good news. Because if he keeps talking to you, you're going to be fired soon. But Woody would let certain people improvise and certain people he would not let improvise. He let me and Jennifer Tilly improvise. And it was great. I mean, we both got nominated for Academy Awards. So, he just knew who to improvise and who not to.
Which style would you prefer if you could either improvise or be strictly directed?
I like both.
If you had to pick one, though, gun to your head, they said you have to either improvise or you have to stick strictly to the script.
Well, if the script is great, then I don't mind. I don't know. It's hard to say, John. I can work both ways. I mean, you have to. If a director says, "Look, you got to say the words that are written," I'm the writer, so I respect that. I respect the writer, and I'll do it that way. But even when I do it that way, I'll say, hey, do you have what you want? He'll say, yes. Then I'll say, you mind if I do another one? And I'll say those words, but maybe I'll just add some stuff. He'll say, and any director, most directors would say, fine, go right ahead. Because they know if they have it already, you never know. Let's give it a shot.
Well, didn't that happen with Bullets Over Broadway?
Yeah, Bullets. He just let me riff constantly. And he just said, no, just go, man, just go.
That
go.
line, you're a terrible actress, Olive.
Yeah, actually, the original line was, you're not ready for Broadway, and then I shoot her. But I just said, Olive, there's something I got to tell you. You're a terrible actress. And then I shot her. And he loved that line.
That's so great. Yeah, it was one of the lines that made the movie. Was there something like, it doesn't even have to be from somebody that you remember who it came from, but like, is there some piece of advice that a director gave you, you're like, holy shit, and it just changed your whole career?
That director told me, I probably would say it's De Niro. Bob was, now you got to picture this now. Bob, people are in awe of Bob, that wow, and rightly so, But Bob is a very kind of, I mean this sincerely, he's a humble guy. And he was so, at the end of I remember at the end of the film, I said to him, I said, Bob, because we both had such a great time making the movie together. And I was there every step of the way with him. And that's because of him. He said, I want you here. I want you here every day. I want to speak to you. I want to know things. He invited me to the editing room. I would never step out of my bounds. And I said, you're so collaborative for somebody like you, And he said, let me see, I want to get the exact line. He said, it takes just as much talent to recognize a great idea as it is to come up with it yourself. So he wasn't threatened by somebody's ideas,
Well, you carry that with you up until now when we were working on your film.
Oh, that was my...
that was the first thing you said when we sat at the table. You said, ego is not going to be a problem here. If you have a good idea, you tell me.
And it wasn't. If you have a good idea, I want to hear it. Now, in the end, the director makes the final decision, but if you got a better idea than I'm coming up with here now, please tell me, because I'll be more than happy to use it.
I respect that. You want to make a great product.
Well, if you know who you are, then you're not threatened by that, But a lot of people, but especially autistic people, they're always afraid to take a great idea from somebody. They think it belittles them, it lessens their talent, and it doesn't. Because as De Niro said, it takes just as much talent to recognize it as it is to come up with it yourself. Ideas they're all over the place.
I respect that. I really do think, like, if you listen to people, you will get the best possible outcome from it.
Yeah. And sometimes you do have the best idea, and that's fine. But why not? What are you protecting your work from? A great idea? That's crazy. So I don't have any problem at all. If I think I'm wrong, I'll say, forget it. You know what? I made a mistake, and John is right. Let's do it that way. I don't have any problem doing that.
Yeah, and then even when we were editing your film, I mean, there was never a time where I felt intimidated telling you my idea.
No.
It was nice, because what's the worst you're going to say? No, I don't like that. It's not going to work.
Yeah. And art is funny, And De Niro said that to me. He goes, sometimes you think it's going to work, and sometimes you're right, and then sometimes you're wrong. And Bob used to say, nobody's that smart, and he's right about that.
Yeah, and it worked out well for you.
And it worked out great. Obviously, Bronx Tale is the perfect movie, and I say that honestly. He just directed seamless. I thought it was a great script I wrote, and he just, as a director, you take the great script and then you even elevate it to like classic.
Did you
That's
get to
and
keep anything from that film, like memorabilia or anything?
I have everything
What's your favorite piece?
from that film. Probably my suit.
Have you worn it since?
No, no, I've never worn it.
You
I
think
have
it
it
would still
all.
fit?
I have all my clothes from all my movies. Bullets Over Broadway, Mulholland Falls. I have all my suits, hats, and I have it all in kind of like this eh, place. It's like a museum place for my children. One day it'll, who knows?
It's cool to keep that stuff. What's your favorite thing, even if it's not from your movie? Because I know you have a lot of memorabilia anyways. What's your favorite thing out of everything? If there was a, God forbid, ever was a fire, you had to save
Oh
one thing,
God.
two things.
I would probably say I have my original computer, my Toshiba. I bought it in 1986, and that's the computer I wrote Bronx Tale on, and I wrote Fateful on that. That got made. I wrote a whole bunch of stuff on that computer. I think that I have that still.
How'd you learn how to write a script? Because I know you were an actor
Yeah.
and then you started to write, but like how do you learn how to write a script?
Well, I mean, obviously, when you're an actor, you read a lot of scripts, so you see the form. You know, in fact, I was going to talk about this book, but here's a great quote from. I have to read you this quote. That's a great question you asked, John. And he said, "Wait a minute. I got it. I got to give you this quote." And I found it to be. Oh, here it is. Yeah, George Lucas said this. Learning to make films is very easy. Learning what to make films about is very hard. you know, you can learn the, fade in, fade out, dialogue, character. Once you get that, it's pretty easy. But now you got to fill up the page. Totally something else, totally different. So once I learned the format. I was always a storyteller. Storytelling was very easy for me. You know, I love to tell stories. I've written movies that got made, but people don't know because they weren't big hits. I mean, Faithful was a pretty hit. Um, but I rewrote a lot of movies, and I fixed a lot of movies. I had a gift of, and the only thing I'll ever brag about, not brag. I'm sorry. I hope that didn't sound right. But I could read a script and I could tell you what's wrong with it. Give me a script and I'll tell you what it's lacking. Some scripts I could fix myself. Some of them I'll say, you know what? Here's what's wrong, but I'm not the guy to fix it. There's better people that could fix it than me. This is more in their wheelhouse. I could read a western, a piece about, uh, you know, Romans, Spanish Inquisition, and it doesn't mean I know everything about the Spanish Inquisition, but I could tell you emotionally what's lacking in it and where and what it needs. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I could do that, and that's why I get paid to rewrite things. People ask me to read their script. I always get, and I always say, look, I don't read your script for free. I'll read it. If you want me to read it and make detailed notes, what I think what's wrong with it, I'll do that. But that takes time. And my time is money. So I always say, if you're really serious, then go on my website, chazzpalminteri.net, and see how it is. And we'll find out how to do, and I'll let you know how to do that. My assistants will tell you what it costs and what you got to do. But I always tell people, I don't really talk about that a lot because it's on my website. But I tell people mostly that you really got to be sure that your script is good. Don't let me be the first person to see it. You know, because I had one guy and I begged him, don't do this unless you have really worked it out and you rewrote it and you had other people read it. It's great. It's great. I said, okay. Everybody thinks their script is great, John. Everybody. Everybody who ever written a script said, this script is great. And it's never great. I've read 3 scripts. Well, 4 if you want to count my own. Sound like a real asshole. But it's true. But I always say 3, but 4 is me. I read 3 scripts that were so great, they asked me to look at it to rewrite. And I said, I have no notes. And the people said, what? I have no notes. I said, I can't. It's great. And I am known in the business as a motherfucker. And I am, because I could see everything. I could see a mistake. I could see where the second act drops. I could see what act needs a boost. I could see what character is not well written, what character needs a boost. Is it flat at the end? Is it better? See, the thing you got to know about endings is beginnings and ending are the most important. But the hardest is the middle, the second act. If you got a really good movie and a great ending, the movie becomes great. If the movie's good and the ending's great, when people walk out, they go, how's the movie? Great! Oh my God, it's great. If the movie's really good, but the ending's flat, you ask people, they'll go, it's all right. How was the movie? It's good. They don't, and word of mouth is the most important thing. Okay? So it's like first act. Well, what is a screenplay? When I'll do in college, I'll do a course on screenplay writing, and I always tell the students, they'll say, Mr. Palminteri, can you tell us how to write a screenplay? So I always say, look, I can tell you the form, but I can't teach you how to be creative. But what I can tell you is this. This is a screenplay. First act, first 30 pages. Well, let's say screenplay is 120. It doesn't have to be 120. It could be 110. It could be 90. But let's say the first act, 30 pages. Get your character up a tree. Second act, 60 pages. That's the hard act to write. Get them farther up a tree to the tippy top. The third act, get them down from the tree and solve the problem. That's a screenplay. Read your first 30 pages. If you don't have your main character in some kind of fucking dilemma, babe, you gotta go back and look at it. Second act, if you don't got him even higher up that dilemma tree, then it's just event after event. Then he goes and sees his girlfriend, and he goes here. It's bullshit. You have to make people want to turn the page. It's I'm trying to think of how I said it to them. It's the reveal of new ideas. Oh, his mother was married to that guy. Oh shit! What happened there? And you keep wanting to turn the page. A screenplay, it takes 3 minutes. Three pages is 3 minutes. Usually, page a minute. I want you to think about this, okay? A page a minute. Do you know how long a minute is? You have any idea how long a minute is? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do a minute because people will turn off the thing. Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. I just want to give you an idea. 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a lifetime, right? Yeah. Let's do this. Ready? Let's do 10 seconds. All right, ready? This is 10 seconds starting now. A lifetime. A fucking lifetime. Do you imagine 3 minutes? So, you know how boring that is if you write bullshit up there? That's why, in my opinion, I mean, look, I've written books. I write plays. Plays, too, can be very tricky. But plays are all dialogue. You're watching that in person. Hard, very hard. Can't redo, can't cut back, can't edit. Plays are difficult. But screenplays, boy, wow, just as difficult. Because if your shit ain't good, wow, people are just going to like, oh man, this sucks. Come on, shut this off. Totally different. Totally different. So I say to people, you know, you don't have to pay me because you got to be really sure. In other words, you have to be like, this screenplay is really good. A lot of credible people looked at it. But if I want to give it one more pass, I want notes from me. If you don't feel confident, please, I don't need your money. Don't send it. But if you want the final answer, as far as I'm concerned, and if you want to take it up to the next step, then have a discussion with Stacy. I don't know how we got into that, but we did.
Interesting. I have one question before we tune out. It's when you write a script, do you write the beginning and then the end and fill it in?
Yes. Now everybody's different. Every writer. If I can't start a film, I can't start writing a novel, a screenplay, until I know how it starts and how it ends. And then I fill in the beginning and the middle. For some reason, I need to know how it begins and how it ends. And then now, can it change the ending? Yes. That's when the characters speak to you and it's so strong, you go, you know what? I thought this, but I know. When I wrote Bronx Tale, the screenplay, I knew it had to start out with the murder because, first of all, I'm the kid. I did see the murder. And I knew that Sonny had to die because he did die. And I knew I had to witness it. That I knew. And that's all I needed. And then I went at it and started writing.
I always thought that was cool because I saw this interview with the writers of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And they're like, whenever we put Bryan Cranston in a problem, like we put him in the furthest possible corner we could. We had no idea how we were going to get him out. But we wrote it at like, we just started the episode, put him in a corner, and we wrote in the middle.
Yes.
And I thought that was cool. I thought that was a great way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, because they were actually the mind of Bryan Cranston. They're writing for him, so they're saying, all right, how the fuck do I get out of here? All right, I do this, I do that. Yeah, it's a great, what would you call that? I would say that's a great active way to get out of it.
Like the last season, if you remember, the first episode of the last season, they're, I think, 12 episodes long. The first episode, they put a giant Gatling gun in the back of Bryan Cranston's trunk. They filmed the ending of that and wrote it, I think, a year later. They had no idea what that gun was for, what they were going to use it, but they used it in the last episode because they knew they had to use it. And they found a creative way to do it.
They found a creative way to use it.
It's just they put it in the trunk, just had no idea what they were doing with it. And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of writers on that show, right?
A ton, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's these guys like David Kelly and who's the guy on Yellowstone? Forgot his name.
Writer or actor?
He's the writer and producer. What's his Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan, yep.
They write every episode themselves? I mean, wow. I mean, that's the work in that. Oh my God. I mean, maybe he has other writers who write some, and then I don't know. But I know David Kelly used to write every episode, which is astounding.
Crazy how they do that, because like that show, like Breaking Bad, like they actually have real laws, they have real physics, they have real chemistry. Like you got to actually hire people that know this shit.
Oh God.
And it's bizarre because if you don't, that's all people will see. Like, oh, that's not the formula for meth.
That's not the what?
The formula for meth. Like they actually learned how to cook meth so people wouldn't bitch about it.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be real, it's got to be real. I mean, picture if you're a meth dealer and you're watching this, you're going, fuck, man, that guy's shit.
He doesn't know how to cook meth.
I said, holy shit.
No, the writers actually learned how to cook meth for that show.
Yeah.
Which
wow.
It's funny.
Well, Breaking Bad, if you guys haven't seen it, it's one of the great shows, Breaking Bad. I would say,
I think it's one of the best written shows ever.
Probably in the top 10. You know, I mean, that show, Sopranos.
Sopranos is up there.
I would say Sopranos is up there.
Even the ending. People are still talking about the Sopranos 20 years later. That's a good ending. Whether you liked it or not.
Whether you like it or not. Well, he left it up to people's imagination.
People are still talking about it. It's a great ending.
Yeah, and people are still talking about it, you know. But what was that other show? Homeland. Oh, if you want to see a great show, to me, Homeland, one of the best written shows ever. Adrian Brody, just, and Claire Danes. Oh, God. You want to talk about getting your character up a tree and get him down again. Well, I mean, we didn't answer too many questions on the air, but we'll do it again next time.
Yeah, there's a lot of advice, though.
All right, but listen, if you have a question, anything, you know where to send it. You send it to Chazz Palminteri, the Chazz Palminteri Show, or you can go on my Instagram, Chazz Palminteri. Go on my Instagram, follow me. If you can see some of the old episodes. Some of the great old episodes. Don't forget, you want to see the one-man show, go to chazzpalminteri.net. You want to talk to me, go there. My merchandise, now you can't leave T-shirts, sweatshirts, photos. One of the great ones, you have a girlfriend, a wife, you want to buy her something special, buy her a nice T-shirt that says one of the great ones. It's fabulous stuff. All you have to do is go to chazzpalminteri.net. John, where am I going to be now? Starting in July?
Starting in July. Let me go back because we usually don't read them at the end. But I'll go back. But you're going to be July... Where the hell are we? July 18th, you're going to be in Medford, Massachusetts at the Chevalier Theater. July 20th, you're going to be in Nashua, New Hampshire at the Nashua Center for the Arts. August 17th, you're going to be in Riverhead, New York at the Suffolk Theater. And August 19th, we're going to be in Ocean City, New Jersey at the Ocean City Music Pier. All
right. Come and see the one-man show, 18 characters on stage. The show that we won all the awards, and that broke me into being a star. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget my restaurants, Chazz Palminteri's Restaurant, 30 West 46th Street, 264 Main Street. God bless you. See you next week.